Hi students, the subject EE8010 Power System Transients. Today we will learn the basic concepts of Unit 2 Switching Transients. Before that, first we will discuss what is meant by power system transients and what are the different causes of power system transients. Okay, first what is meant by power system transients? Transience is nothing but a sudden change in the circuit condition as when a switch open or closes. That means making and breaking of electric circuits or a fault occur on a system is called power system transients. That means a transient occur in the power system when the network changes. That means a sudden change in the circuit condition from one steady state to the another state. The next thing is there are two different causes of power system transient. First one is internal causes and second one is external causes. Switching surges are is a major causes of internal, it's a one type of internal causes. The majority of power system transients is however the result of a switching action. Okay, switching surges is nothing but the making and breaking, that means on and off of electric circuits with switchgear may result in abnormal transient over voltages in a power systems having large inductance values and capacitance values. And next thing is the transient period is very short, that means it occurs is in the range of microseconds to milliseconds. And next thing is this is a voltage waveform, and in this normal condition, that means there is no changes in the original condition, and the blue line indicates the original voltage waveform, and next red line indicates if any changes in the circuit condition, that means any switch will be open or closed, and the voltage, the RMS value of AC voltage is greater than 110 percentage at the power frequency. The duration is longer than 1 minute. For example, switching off a large load, and next one is energizing a capacitor bank. And the next topic is resistance switching. Resistance switching is nothing but it's a connection of resistance across the circuit breaker is called resistance switching. In this circuit, L is nothing but source inductance, C is nothing but stray capacitance, R is nothing but shunt resistance. In this shunt resistance is connected parallel to the contact, that means there is a circuit breaker parallel to the circuit, parallel with the circuit breaker. And the main objective of in this circuit, first one is to reduce the switching surges and over voltages, and next one is we have to maintain the potential control access for multi breakers per phase in the high voltage breakers, and third one is to reduce the natural frequency effects and breaker recovery voltage. These are the main objective of resistance switching. In this circuit, we have considered a circuit breaker is air blast circuit breaker or oil circuit breaker. In this circuit, if any one of the fault occur in particular line, the circuit breaker will sensing the fault current and voltage. At that time, the circuit breaker switch will be open. At that switch open, the contact space, that means arc, will be produced between the circuit breaker contacts. In this resistance will reducing the arc. So in this method resistance switching, the resistance is connected in parallel with the contact space, that means contact arc is made to overcome the effect of transient recovery voltage. And next important thing is need for resistance switching. There are two main needs are available for resistance switching. First one is to distribute the transient recovery voltage more uniformly across the several breaks, and next thing is to reduce the severity of transient recovery voltage at the time of interruption. That means if any fault occur on that line, the circuit breaker will be sensing the current, so at the time of interruption, to reduce the severity of transient recovery voltage by introducing damping into the oscillation. These are the needs for resistance switching. Okay, next we will discuss analysis of resistance switching. We have considered the circuit. in this circuit, in this second circuit, we have separate two currents, that means two closed loop currents I1 and I2. In this first circuit we have connect the resistance across the circuit breaker. Okay, we have discussed first applying KVL, that means Kirchhoff's voltage law into the loop 1. So we have taking a KVL. V is equal to L into di by dt plus 1 by C integral of I1 minus I2 into dt. This is a basic equation, and in that equation we have to take the Laplace transform. So we get the equation number 1, V by S is equal to SL plus 1 by SC into I1 of S minus 1 by SC I2 of S. So this is the equation number 1. And next we have considered the loop 2. The voltage source is not available in that loop, so we have take a voltage as 0. So 0 is equal to 1 by C integral of I2 minus I1. So taking the Laplace transform on that equation, so finally we get 0 equal to minus 1 by SC I1 of S plus R plus 1 by SC of I2 of S. So in this equation 2 we take I1 of S is equal to 1 plus S into CR into I2 of S. In this equation we have to substitute in first equation. Finally we get this equation. So and we have take second order equation. So V by S is equal to RLC S square plus LS plus R of I2 of S. This is the second order equation. In this equation we have to find I2 of S. So finally we get V by S into RLC S square plus LS plus R. So simplify this equation. We have take RLC as a common. So finally we get V by RLC divided by S into S square plus 1 by RC plus 1 by LC. And next we have take partial fraction in this equation. So finally we get the I2 of S. In this equation, by simplification process, we have to take x is equal to 1 by 2 RC and y is equal to 1 by LC minus 1 by 2 RC the whole square. In this x and y value we have to substitute the above equation I2 of S. Finally we get the equation. Next we have taking the inverse Laplace transform on the last I2 of S equation. Finally we get this equation I2 of t. And next we have find the natural frequency of oscillation. Already we learned f of n fn, that means f of n is equal to 1 by 2 pi square root of 1 by LC minus 1 by 4 c square r square. If in this equation fn is nothing but it's a natural frequency of oscillation, L is nothing but inductance, and C is nothing but capacitance. Okay, next the resistance connected must be low compared with the reactance of capacitance and shunting the brakes at the frequency of recovery transient. This is the main thing. And next we have select the resistance value will be very low. So in this condition we have to reduce the transient recovery voltage. So the value of resistance is very low. In this critical damping condition, R is equal to 1 by 2 square root of L by C. This is the different values of resistance. We have find the voltage waveform. Next one is advantages of resistance switching. First one is we have to reduce the rate of rise of restriking voltage. That means it will be reduced triple RV and the peak value of restriking voltage. And next important advantage is to reduce the voltage transient surges during the current chopping and capacitive circuit breaking. These are the main advantages of resistance switching. And the next important topic is normal and abnormal switching transient. This is the important topic of switching transients. First one is normal transients. Normal transients is nothing but do not any disturbance in the normal line. And that means if when a switch will be open in a single phase circuit, we have considered in this example we have considered a single phase circuit. When a switch will be open in a single phase circuit, it is possible for the recovery voltage to reach a value twice as high. Okay, in this condition, when a switch will be open in single phase circuit, it is possible for the recovery voltage to reach a value of twice as the normal peak voltage of the system. And next condition is abnormal condition. That means when a switch will be closes, then the current can reach a value twice that of the eventual steady state current. So this is the main thing. Next, this is the flow chart of power system normal and abnormal condition switching transients. If any disturbances will not occur in that power system, is called normal system. If any disturbances in voltage or current, so we have to take the next step, abnormal condition. Next we are derived current suppression and current capacitance switching and ferro resonance. This is the main flow chart of normal and abnormal switching transients in power systems. Okay, thank you.